The Commissioner of Inzara County in Western Equatoria State says calm has returned to the area after the killing of 4 people in a road ambush along the Inzara-Tumbra road yesterday morning. Some grassroots citizens have decried the current political tensions in the country and appealed to the government of national unity to resolve the crisis. And religious leaders in South Sudan have pledged their support for peaceful resolution to the country's current crisis in a meeting with the Vice President in charge of the economic cluster on Monday. Tune in for these stories and more coming to you in our news bulletin with me, WOL MAPAL, and now the news in detail. The Commissioner of Inzara County in Western Equatoria State says calm has returned to the area after the killing of 4 people in a road ambush along the Inzara-Tumbra road yesterday morning. Lino Kwogo Fataki told us this morning that 4 people were killed and 2 seriously injured in an ambush at a distance of 13 kilometers from Inzara. Kwogo said the victims were traveling by vehicle when they were attacked by unidentified gunmen. 4 of the victims were killed on the spot while 2 sustained critical injuries. Commissioner Kwogo revealed that the 2 injured passengers are now receiving medication at Inzara Hospital. Lino Kwogo Fataki spoke to you earlier this morning in Inzara, a town in Western Equatoria State.
What happened yesterday was that there is people coming from Inzara County. They fell into the ambush 5 miles from Zara. Then they've been attacked. Then 4 people killed at the same moment. Then 2 wounded, and the 2 were totally taken to the hospital until now the treatment is still going on. Yeah, the situation is normal actually because since yesterday, sent a force of military there, and until now the force are still there. When there is some group of people are following the enemies, or those who will come and they make the ambush of the way. They've been attacked, and then 4 people died at the same moment. Then until the force there from the military side, and then until now they are still there.
Commissioner Kwogo urged the public to remain vigilant as security forces are after those responsible for the attack. Some grassroots citizens have decried the current political tensions in the country and appealed to the government of national unity to resolve the crisis. Despite weeks of calls to President Salva Kiir and the first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar from regional bodies and the international community, the key principles to the 2018 peace deal have not met to resolve their differences. Speaking to our radio in Juba today, some citizens have expressed fear of return to war and urged the leaders to de-escalate the tension. Elena Hasha Guya, a concerned mother and resident at Hainim, says women are tired of the continued violence that continue to claim the lives of their children. She questions the government over the future of the mothers in South Sudan.
Ana asade kana ana pigeli baptai juwaina mushakila la asade ge wosul pi zaman lagada asade de ana mamurta asan asade musakil de ge masi iyal tana kulu ge mutu musakil katir alina baga ajusin munu bi defununina asa iyal kulu ge katolo iyal kulu ge shilu ge mashwen ita mabarfu iyal ge katolo pisika ita mabarfu nyara kutaki ge shilu gali taboda ge katolo mabarfu nyara kutaki ga mulu gali asal bisadu iyal ma ge katolo pisika ukuma de gerawe ukuma de gailuwen al asade ukuma gisibonina nabaga tabanin ma fi jolo bidofunina ma fi jolo bidofunina asane yaltana de kulu kala su fi juba de wala fi Sudan kulu amak asade nabaga tabanin ukuma de ainuwen ma ukuma kale ainu mahali to jegulu ukuma asal bi sibulena yaltana tirab asal baki de bidofunina abuba munu bidofunina ya ukuma munu bitopuna ya ukuma.
Another concerned citizen, Rafina Isaac, points out that the victims of this conflict are children, women and other vulnerable citizens and called on the leaders to dialogue and put their differences aside.
I'm calling on to all leaders in the country to dialogue and to bring the current conflict that is ongoing to an end because citizens are really suffering, children and women, they are really victims of this country. We are facing an economic war in the country and we are wishing that our country should come into instability and we need peace in the country.
Meanwhile, Agustina Udu Elario is a chairperson for South Sudan Union of Persons with Disabilities. He described the current political situation of the country as alarming and poses threats for people with disabilities. Agustino stressed that citizens are not ready to be taken to the renewed cycle of war, citing the existing suffering of the major population across the country. Mr. Wudu also called on President Kiir and the first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar to come together and resolve their differences through peaceful solutions.
The current situation that the country is in is very much threatening the people, particularly we people with disabilities. Apart from the economic challenges, now another suffering is also added to the current situation that people are in. People are suffering from hunger. So my appeal to the key leaders that despite of the differences, despite of the bitterness between them, then let them come together and solve the issues in a peaceful manner so that peace may return to the country. We don't want to see that we are taken back to another cycle of war. We have suffered a lot. Many people have died, so we don't want to see any cycle of fighting. In fact, if they can hear us, if they are for the people, if they are leaders of this country, they have to sit down and seek for a peaceful solution to solve the differences. Please, I am urging the two leaders, particularly the President Salva Kiir Mayardit and his deputy Riek Machar, that they should come together. They should come and sit and solve the differences.
The head of the United Nations mission in South Sudan is urging President Salva Kiir and First Vice President Dr. Riek Machar to hold a face-to-face meeting to address their differences and jointly reaffirm their commitment to lasting peace. Nicholas Haysom has stressed that both regional and international communities agree on the need for the two leaders to break the cycle of conflict in South Sudan by fully implementing the revitalized peace agreement. Addressing a video conference on Monday, Haysom emphasized the importance of the parties strictly upholding the ceasefire. Haysom also called for the release or trial of detained officials according to due legal process. He urged South Sudanese leaders to prioritize a consensus-based decision-making and avoid military confrontations. The UN chief encouraged President Kiir and Vice President Machar to meet and make a joint public statement to reassure the citizens of their commitment to peace.
The collective message of the region and the international community is the same. We remain convinced that there is only one way out of the cycle of conflict, and that is to return to the revitalized peace agreement in letter and spirit. This includes strict adherence to the ceasefire, the release of detained officials or their treatment in accordance with legal process, an immediate return to consensus-based decision-making, and the resolution of tensions through dialogue rather than military confrontation. We also encourage the President and First Vice President to meet to resolve their differences constructively, making a joint public statement that reassures all South Sudanese of the united, steadfast commitment to peace. The time for action is now, because the alternative is too terrible to contemplate. I thank you.
His remarks come as South Sudan continues to face political tensions and security challenges. You are listening to iRadio News. Religious leaders in South Sudan have pledged their support for peaceful resolution to the country's current crisis in a meeting with Vice President in charge of the economic cluster on Monday. The meeting brought together Metropolitan Cardinal Dr. Stephen Martin Mullah of the Catholic Archdiocese of Juba and Right Reverend Badi Arama of the Episcopal Church of South Sudan. The top religious leaders expressed their commitment to resolving the ongoing conflict between peace parties. Speaking after the meeting, Cardinal Dr. Stephen Martin Mullah emphasized the Church's readiness to have the country remain resilient and peaceful during this critical time.
Help the country go through this moment in order to get more peace in the country. And we have also spoken about our role as church leaders.
In response, Vice President Dr. Benjamin Bolmel acknowledged the vital role of religious leaders in peace building and reassured them of the government's commitment to maintaining stability across South Sudan. The acknowledged charges historical crucial role in mediation efforts and promoting reconciliation in South Sudan, particularly during times of conflict. Following the recent confrontations between the SSPDF and armed youth in Inzara County, Aanali State clashes reportedly occurred with SSPDF, SPLA-IO and armed groups in parts of the country. The fighting in Nasir has raised alarms about potential spillover into other states. The newly appointed governor of Aanali State has acknowledged the challenges in the region but expressed confidence that they can be resolved through unity. Lieutenant General James Kong Chol made the statement during a meeting with the Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, Joel Thorn Balok, at the Army headquarters in Juba yesterday.
أنا كنت طالب بده في وزارة الدفاع عنده advices ومؤشرات ممكن يديني عشان نمكن نشكل فأنا بشكرك السيد الوزير وأنا أقول برضه للشعب بتاعي في ولاية إنه ولاية بتاعنا عندها مشاكل نحن نحل المشاكل الأمنية بوحدة بتاعنا ونحن موحدين مشاكلها هتكون سهل والمناطق اللي عندها مشاكل يرجع للسلام والناس يخلى الفات ونحن نلم يدينا كلنا وانا بشكر السيد الوزير وبشكر السيد الرئيس نمشي نجرب المشاكل الامنيه انا متاكد بقبول بتاعنا والتلفونات اللي انا بسمعها والوضع انا قبل ما لسه ما وصلت في علنيه انا لقيت الارشادات كثير.
General Kong's appointment comes amid ongoing security tensions, particularly between government forces and armed youth in Nasir. Meanwhile, General Joel Thorn Balok applauded the new governor's appointment, saying the president has appointed him with a view he understands local dynamics of Aanali State. General Thorn expressed confidence that the new leader of Aanali State can restore peace and development in Upper Nile, adding that war, division and displacement must end. The Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, General Joel Thorn Balok, spoke on State TV SSBC yesterday.
في وقت طويل دفع مع تعيينه بالنشر السيد الرئيس بتعيينه لأن الرجل المناسب في محل المناسب لا عنده كرايسيس ومن المنطقة البلد ترجع للسلام لأن السلام يعو فيها استقرار ويعو فيه تنمية لأن الناس ما يكون نازعين في كل وقت فنحن واثقين إنه هيعمل بيعمل هينفعنا كلنا وهينفع جنوب السودان ما دايرين حرب في بلدك ما دايرين انقسامات في بلدك ما دايرين إنه النزوح في كل وقت
The general statement aimed at reassuring the public that efforts are being made to stabilize the region. And finally, before the international and sport stories, Lake State Police reports the death of a woman after her husband stormed a house and allegedly found her with another man in a suspected adultery case in Ural West County. Acting Police Commissioner Major General Enoch Majok Machar said the husband, who is an executive chief in the area, and the suspected lover have been detained as part of an investigation to determine the prime suspect.
Executive chief, and his wife got an affair with somebody, and then she found him and alive in the house. So she intruded into the room, and they wrestled there. So the man sneaked out and ran, and left the lady there. So what happened is not known. It is investigation that will tell us the lady died. Well, when you have a wife and you get somebody inside the room with your wife, what does it mean? It is adultery.
While he could not identify any prime suspect among the two men, the police official encouraged the state communities to refrain from taking laws into their own hands when they find themselves in such a situation. In his state, he called on citizens to always report to the police to get justice. According to the police official, the victim's neck was found broken and the perpetrator must have sat on her neck. Majuk said one of the suspects has been arrested and is being detained at Babur Z prison in Ural West.
Until the police go and see what happened. This is where the police now found out that deaths have happened here in this house. One ran away, two remained inside, one died. Police got information, collect information. And this is where we stop here. Outside there, she said her neck got broken. This man is caught by the police. And that the person who caused this is reported to have been arrested in Ural. He is now in Baburdet in Ural. Actually, he's taken by the police. People are pursuing this. investigation about that of Euro West. This later on is found that it was real adultery is also condemned.
Lexi State Coordinator for Community Empowerment and Progress Organization, SEPO Daniel Latcon, expressed concern of the woman's murder, adding that people should not take the law into their own hands.
Found your wife to have committed a crimes with adultery with another man. Why don't you go to the court, report this case to the police, and the case will be taken to court and it will be handled in a customary way. And also maybe even if it is something that needs to be taken to the High Court, it can be handled in the High Court. But killing your own wife, you need to think about the children. You need to think about people who are having this lady that you married them from, because it was not in the agreement that if she committed a crime, you are going to kill her.
This is our Radio 1 O'Clock News, and now to the stories on the region and international. Here is Tekjok Lam.
A Kenyan police officer deployed in Haiti as part of the International Security Force has gone missing after an attack by suspected gang members. The force was attacked by gangs as they were helping a vehicle from the Haitian National Police that got stuck in a ditch, the mission said in a statement. As the rescue teams attempted to resolve the situation, suspected gang members lying in wait launched an attack, it added. Following the attack, specialized teams have been deployed to conduct a search for the missing officer. Elsewhere, at least 18 people have been killed and 19 injured as South Korea's wildfires continue to ravage the country's southeast, according to the latest numbers from the Ministry of the Interior and Safety. The unprecedented crisis remains critical, according to Acting President Han Duck-soo, who said the fires are rewriting the record books for the worst wildfires in our nation's history. More than 23,000 people have been evacuated and several heritage cultural sites affected, including a 1,300-year-old Buddhist temple that was destroyed. And finally, Russia and Ukraine have agreed to a naval ceasefire in the Black Sea in separate deals with the US after 3 days of peace talks in Saudi Arabia. Washington said all parties will continue working towards a durable and lasting peace in statements announcing the agreements, which will reopen an important trade route. They have also committed to develop measures to implement a previously agreed ban on attacking each other's energy infrastructure, the White House said. And that's all on the regional and international news. I am Tekjok Lam. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Tekjok Lam. And now to the world of sports is Nathan William.
South Sudan scored a top-page time equalizer to salvage a 1-1 draw against Sudan in the second leg of the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers played in Benghazi, Libya on Tuesday, but their chances of qualification are slim. Sudan, looking to secure a vital win in the qualifiers at Benina Martyrs Stadium, took the lead in the 79th minute thanks to a well-played goal from Mohamed Issa. In a dramatic turn of events, South Sudan equalized deep into stoppage time with Omut David Sibit scoring the crucial goal in the 98th minute, earning his side a point. And Brazil captain Marquinhos has apologized to the fans after an embarrassing display in their 4-1 World Cup qualifying defeat by Argentina in Buenos Aires. Julian Alvarez, Enzo Fernandez, Alexis McAllister, and Giuliano Simeone were on target for Argentina, whose World Cup qualification was confirmed before kick-off by Bolivia's draw with Uruguay. Mateus Cunha replayed for the five-time world champions who suffered their worst defeat in World Cup qualifying and are not yet guaranteed of a place in next year's finals. Elsewhere, the Orlando Magic ended a 6-game home losing streak by inflicting a third straight defeat on the Los Angeles Lakers. Luka Doncic scores 32 points and LeBron James added 24 and 8 assists for the Lakers Police, who led 60-58 at a halftime. However, Orlando outscored the visitors 34-18 in the third quarter and went on to wrap up 118-106 victory. Franz Wagner contributed 32 points and 9 assists for the Magic, while Paulo Banchero added 30 points and 7 rebounds. And finally, Novak Djokovic cruised past Lorenzo Musetti 6-2 to reach the quarterfinals of the Miami Open. The match was delayed because of rain, and while number 5 Djokovic, who has won 6 Miami titles, started slowly and was broken in the opening game as Italy's Musetti opened up a 2-0 lead. But Serbian Djokovic 37 completely dominated the match from that point. That's all in the world of sport, and now back to you, WOL MAPAL.
Vote of thanks over there, Nathan William, for the sports update. And here brings us to the end of our stories this afternoon. But first, let's have a quick recap of our headlines once again. The Commissioner of Inzara County in Western Equatorial State says calm has returned to the area after the killing of 4 people in a road ambush along the Inzara-Tembra Road yesterday morning. Some grassroots citizens have decried the current political tensions in the country and appealed to the government of national unity to resolve the crisis. And finally, religious leaders in South Sudan have pledged their support for peaceful resolution to the country's current crisis in a meeting with the Vice President in charge of the economic cluster on Monday. That is the end of our Radio Afternoon News. If there is a story or an event you would like our Radio to cover or report about, please send us a text message on +211 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba. Like our Facebook page, iRadio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iRadio.org. Stay tuned for news in Arabic at 1:30. I've been your host for today, WOL MAPAL. Thank you for listening.